Hey, what's going on, folks? My name is Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit. We help entrepreneurs do three things: drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow the amount of profit in your business. I'm excited today because we have another special guest for our weekly Lunch and Learn series. If this is your first time, you don't know what I'm talking about. Every week we bring you the best influencers, entrepreneurs, leaders, business owners to show you how to get to the next level in your business because they are the experts. So we like to put the experts in front of you so they can share their expertise and they can really get you on the fast track to success, right? People always say, Lamar, there's no shortcuts in life. There is a shortcut. The shortcut in business is to get with somebody who already has the answers. And then once you get with that person who already has the answers, you can move to the next level quickly in a more efficient manner, right? So I'm going to give folks a second to come on. Do me a favor. If you are watching, right, on replay, I want you to type the word replay down below. We love our folks that watch this later on demand. If you're watching live right now, this is what I want you to do. I want you to drop in your name, where you're from in your business. Three things: your name, where you're from in your business. In just a second, I'm gonna bring on our special guest to get this thing started and to get it going. What's going on? I got my buddy Tiffany. Tiffany in the house, right? What's going on, Tiffany? Welcome. Glad to have you here. Texas representing. I think I got Renee in Georgia on. Thank you. Glad you were here. Thank you for representing, showing up. Appreciate you. Renee Coakley, what's up? Let me see. We got some other folks joining. So do me a favor. You're just joining. I need your name, where you're from in your business. Because as we're having these conversations, a lot of time, if we know who you are and what your business is, we might be able to bring you into the conversation. And then once our expert gets going, you guys will be able to ask questions as well. So I see those coming in. I appreciate them, guys. We'll read a few more off in just a second. While we do that, I want to go ahead and bring on our expert for today. Our expert for today, guys. If you didn't know, you're in the right spot today at the right time. Our expert for today is a master when it comes to helping people just like you create online courses. And today we're going to talk about are the 5 tips to decide if you're ready to add an online course to grow your business. A question I get a lot of times, Lamar, can I do a course? Should I do a course? I got a product-based business. Does a course make sense? I got a service-based business. Does a course make sense? Today you're going to get the actual answer to that. And our expert I'm about to bring on in a second is Alisha Curry Walker. She's a licensed professional counselor, has been in counseling field for over 20 years and developing educational programs for herself and others for over 15 years. Her passion is helping other therapists and entrepreneurs package their expertise into online courses, trainings, and other products and services that allow them to add more income without adding more clients. I want to repeat that part for y'all. How many of you guys watching this want to add more income without adding more clients? That is important. That is essential. I see in the comments already. That is essential, right? Alicia's used these same strategies to package her own clinical expertise in her book, I Love Being Married, A Guide to Divorce-Proof Your Marriage, many courses, online trainings, retreats, continuing education workshops, an article for Essence Magazine online, an appearance on a reality show on TLC. Her most recent online program, the 90-Day Course Creation System, is a system she created, tested, and perfected to teach entrepreneurs how to package their knowledge and develop an online training in 90 days or less to leverage their time and increase their income. How many of you guys want to package a course in 90 days or less? If that's you, let me see you drop a comment down below, right? And if you know somebody in your circle, because most likely you do, if you know somebody in your circle that's an author, guess what? Invite them here, tag them down below and share them. You know somebody that's an expert. You say, man, when it comes to X, Y, and Z, whatever that is, that person knows exactly what they're doing. Tag them and invite them here. They need to be in for this conversation. And just share this on your pages, guys, because there's so much money to be made in online courseware right now. That's why we're having this talk, because we want you to be there to get a piece of it. So let me bring on our special guest. All right, there she is. What's going on, Alisha? How are you today?
Hey, thank you for having me. So excited to have to be here. And thank you for that great introduction. And I just want to say hello to all of the TSP family. I'm excited for this talk today.
Hey, I am too, right? Because I mean, like I was just saying a second ago, there's so much money to be made in online courses, right? And it's just a lot of opportunity there. And I feel like a lot of people that have the opportunity to jump on it and can do more there. And like you said, right, they can increase income and revenue without adding more clients. Yeah. I feel like there's so many people that should be taking advantage of it that aren't yet, right? Do you feel the same way about that, or?
I do, and I think a lot of people are concerned that they're not sure if it's right for them, and that's kind of why I wanted to create the workbook that we're going to talk about today, is understanding your expertise, getting to know the sweet spot of where your knowledge, skills, and abilities meet the needs of the people who are interested in what you have to offer. And courses are a great way to package all of that so that you don't have to keep repeating the same thing over and over again.
I love it. All right, so let's jump into it. So today we're talking about 5 tips to decide if you're ready to add an online course to grow your business, right? Like how should they get this thing started? What would be the first tip or the first thing they should actually look at?
So the first thing I kind of mentioned there in the introduction is really understanding your expertise, understanding what you have to offer, understanding, the skills that you have, the expertise that you have, your background, any type of practical experience. Sometimes people feel like, well, I don't have a degree in that, or I haven't gone to school for that, and I can't offer that. But practical experience and having gone through something is a great way to say I'm an expert in that. So there's a lot of people in the hair care industry who created hair care products. They didn't go to school to be a chemist. They didn't go to school to create the ingredients that go into hair care products, but they are creating courses and they are creating products. They have become experts in creating hair care products based on their own practical experience and trial and error. So understanding what you have to offer, the things that people come to you for, the questions that they ask you about, getting to know the sweet spot again of your knowledge, skills, and abilities, and being able to put those into a practical form that other people can understand.
I love that. I love that. That is so awesome. All right. Now, when you talk about them being able to put it into a practical form, like I think a lot of times people struggle with that, right? When I find a lot of times like the expert is the expert.
Right.
When it comes time for the expert to get that stuff out of their head into a practical form that other people can understand, I think maybe that's where they struggle a little bit, or maybe get scared, or maybe I think a lot of people can start courses but can't actually complete them.
Yes. That's exactly why I created the system that I did, because I was going through that myself. Like, you feel like every time you're creating something, you have to start from scratch. And as you know, the business that you've built and the success that you've had really comes from having a system and being able to automate. So I've created a way for people to be able to systematize creating their course so they don't have to think about what should go here, what should go next, and creating a way for people to actually get all of that out of their head and put it into a format that's understandable for them and understandable for the people that they want to take their course. Sometimes there is a gap between what we as the quote unquote expert understands and what we're able to convey. And people do get stuck in that area so often. And that was my frustration. And so that's why I decided to jump, all in on creating courses, not only for myself, but then showing other people how to do it too.
All right. I love it, guys. Hey, I see we got new folks here as well. If you're just joining us, my name is Lamar Tyler, creator and founder of Traffic, Sales, and Profit, helping entrepreneurs do 3 things: drive more traffic, convert more sales, and grow more profit. I'm here today on a special lunch and learn with our special guest, Alisha Curry Walker. She is the creator of the 90-day course creation system, right? For people that want to add more revenue without adding more clients. I love that piece. I want to say that again. Add more revenue without adding more clients. I love that. All right. So today she gave us 5 tips to decide if you're ready to add an online course to your business. So why don't we jump into another tip, Alisha?
So the second tip is really understanding what your promise is. And that kind of goes back to really understanding your expertise. People have asked you over and over again, what should they do about this? How do they do that? If you've created a business of your own, there are people asking you, how did you get started? What are the tips you can give them? And so those are some things that you can put together to package it in a way that you can tell them, if you take the course that I have to offer to you, this is what you should get out of it. It is a tangible thing. It is something that I once heard someone say, it's the thing that you tell people when you're telling them how to land the plane. It's not something that's just kind of up in the atmosphere. It's something that is real and is tangible and is based on a SMART goal: specific, measurable, achievable, reasonable, and time sensitive. So it's something that people can get, but it's something that you're promising. And so when you make a promise, that is something that people believe and want to be able to take action with. And if it's something that you can't live up to, you're breaking the trust that you have with them. So it's important that whatever you say your promise is, that's the thing that you can deliver. So understanding what your promise is the second tip.
All right. I love that. Hey guys, I want to know in the comments, right? Like some of you, if you have course, let me know just in the comments if you have a course or not. If you're watching this, you have a course, let me know what the course is. Drop the name of the course down below. If you don't have a course, but have wanted a course or thinking about a course, drop that down in the comments as well, right? And let us know. If some of you folks that got a course, like that's a great, like, what is the promise of your actual course, right? Like, is that something you had to sit down and think about? What is it your promise? And I love that. Whenever I think about courses that we create for my TSP community, like that's essentially what it is, right? Like what is it that they'll learn? What is it that they'll get? At the end of this, what's the transformation that they'll receive, right? And especially as the price point goes up, it has to be clear. Like you need to have clarity around what it is that this thing is delivering, that once they get done with it, like they'll be able to do this, or they'll be able to learn this, they'll be able to execute this. And I think a lot of people can get kind of tripped up there if they don't know exactly what to focus on or how to focus on it. So I love that you actually mentioned that and brought that to the forefront. All right, cool. All right, so let's get into tip number 3 right now. I love tip number 3 because I took a sneak peek at our kind of production list, and you talked about tip number 3, figuring out who's right for your course.
Right.
Tell me about that, because you can't possibly create a course and not know who to sell it to, or try to sell it to the wrong people. Stuff like that never happens, right?
It happens all the time. And so that's why, people have trouble selling their course or getting people enrolled, because they're speaking to someone that is not the ideal person for their course. So really understanding the people who should be in your course, who's right for the course, figuring out who they are, where they live, where they hang out online, what types of things do they read, who have they been talking to, what are the services that they would be coming to you for, what are the products that they would be buying from you, what are some of the details about them, like really getting to know who they are and digging to find out about them, whether that is you already have clients or people buying your products and you know who they are, or you're kind of being a detective and going into some of these places where they hang out and digging up information on who they are. Because if you can speak directly to them when you put out the information for your course, they're going to say, I think you were talking to me. And I know that's something that you deal with all the time when people are talking to you about the things that you provide. Like, you were talking to me. I know you were talking to me, Lamar.
And that's important because people, like you said, they love it and they need to feel it. And probably the biggest question that we get when we're trying to sell something, probably if it's not number 1, it's normally always number 2, always top 3 is, will this work for people like me, right? And it's like I said, will it work? I got a product-based business, will it work? I got a service-based business, will it work? Is this for younger people? Is this for older people? We selling marriage stuff. It's like, will it work if you've been divorced before? Will it work if you've never been divorced, right? And I think all that still boils down to that same thing of who is it for, and connecting with them and making them feel like, hey, this product was made specifically for people just like you. And just like I said, having clarity around like this course that they're creating, like I said, who is the perfect customer for it? And not what I always try to warn people about. Whenever I ask questions like that, they always tell me, it's for women or men ages 20 to 85. There is no limitation, right? And they're always afraid to kind of pinpoint exactly who they should focus on. And knowing that, hey, if I focus on women that are 35 years old, that have 2 kids, that are married, that live in urban cities, other people are still going to buy it.
Right.
So like focusing on one person doesn't mean that other people will just refuse it. Right. But it means that I have clarity around my purpose and who I'm trying to serve and the way I'm trying to serve them. So. Right. I think that's so important. So important. I love that. Hey guys, again, if you're just joining with Alisha Curry Walker, she's the creator of the 90-day course creation system, talking about 5 tips to decide if you're ready to create an online course to build your business. If you have questions, right, we're going to go to Q&A in a second. You have questions, go ahead and start dropping those questions down into the chat about if you should create a course, kind of course you should create, what you should do with this idea you've had in your head to actually get the course out. All right, in the meantime, while you're doing those we're going to jump into point number 4, right? So what's the 4th tip?
The fourth tip is really being clear about the course outcome. Now, this is different than the promise because it's really centered on the perspective of the customer. So what's in it for them? What is the outcome that they're going to get? How will they be different after taking the course? How will their life be different? What will they be doing differently? What is it that they want to get out of it? And how will their life look different after taking the course? And it's kind of like if you go through each step, as you boil it down, you'll become clearer and clearer and clearer. So when you get to the end point, and we'll talk about the last tip, you'll be able to clearly state what are the things that you want to promise the people, but actually also what is it that they want to get out of it? Because sometimes we can say, this is what we want you to get, but it's different from what the client or the customer actually wants to get out of it.
Hey, I love that. That is so true. So how big of that when you work, because you work directly with all type of entrepreneurs and therapists and people like that to create courses, like is that something that comes up a lot as well, as you were always constantly kind of working with, like the difference between what they want to get out of versus what the actual client is looking to get?
That is a huge deal, because sometimes what happens is if you're the expert in something, you know it from A to Z like the back of your hand. And so you can forget about those little small details that somebody else just starting out needs. And so the outcome part of it from the perspective of the client is where you get feedback from or listen to or dig and get information about what it is that they actually want. Your overall big promise is what they're going to get at the end of your course. But the outcome for the customer may be slightly different from what your promise is, because they're looking for something that you may not have even thought about as what they'll get out of it. So will their family life be better? Will they be able to, decrease the number of clients that they have to see? Will they be able to travel more with their family? Will they be able to have a skill that they can use over and over again to implement in a new way?
I love it, guys. Hey, you see in the comments also, guys, everybody watching, if you're enjoying this, need you to do me a favor, share this video out right now on your pages, on your platforms, in your groups, because somebody that you know needs to see this message, right? They've been thinking about a course and how can I do it? What should I do? This is a conversation they need to be in on so they can make an informed decision on it, and make sure you're giving us some hearts and lights if you're enjoying this conversation as well. All right. So last but not least, you mentioned a second ago, you kind of coming into it. What is the fifth tip that they can use to decide if they're ready to add an online course to their business?
The fifth tip is overcoming obstacles. So this is where it comes into you really knowing who your customer is and really understanding those things that will keep them from buying your course, or those things that have kept them from buying courses before. So one of the things that I mentioned earlier was that my course in particular deals with the actual content creation. There are so many courses out there that talk about creating online courses, but really don't have a strong sense or strong content around how to actually create the content for your course. And so people get stuck and give up. I am an avid purchaser, user of all things online courses. And so that was my own personal frustration. So if you can look at some of the frustrations people have, some of the issues or the things that get in the way of them maybe purchasing your course, and you can counteract those by either putting it directly in your course, making it a bonus, or something that you add to make them say, I have to have this course. That's what you do to overcome obstacles. And so one of the other obstacles that I had to overcome with the course I created was the tech, because the course I created was really for people who are service providers, who are providing services to clients because they're trying not to add more clients. So a lot of times people aren't comfortable with the tech. So I had to include a section in my course that talked about the tech, so that they would then say, okay, she's talked about creating a course. She's talking about all of the things needed to put it out in the world, but she's also dealing with one of the issues that I have personally. And so overcoming obstacles is a way for you to really kind of just say to that person, there's no reason for you to say no. The overcoming the obstacles is that last step that you need to conquer to make sure that when you put your course out there, everybody who is your ideal client will say, I need to take this course. If I can't take it now, then when can I take it? But I need to take this course.
All right. I love it. I love it. That was great stuff. Hey, do me a favor, right? If you guys have questions and you're watching this again, Lamar Tyler, creator, founder, Traffic, Sales, and Profit. I'm here with Alisha Curry Walker. She's a creator of the 90-day course creation system, talking about 5 tips she just gave you to decide if you're ready to add an online course to your business. If you guys have questions, go ahead and drop those questions down below. I see a few of them coming in already. What's up, Joel? Drop your questions about course creation down below. Right before we go to questions, Liz, you had actual something that you wanted to share, an actual offer for our audience. Can we talk about that real quick?
Yes, so I created a workbook to go along with the talk that we have today. And so I touched a little bit on each of the 5 tips, but the workbook goes into depth about how you can figure out what you have to offer, what's your expertise, where is your sweet spot. It talks about, who's your ideal client or your ideal customer, what's in it for them, what the promise is that you want to make to them. You can boil down and get clearer on the step-by-step. So like I said before, it is a process in the workbook of you answering each question, not skipping them, because they are put in a way or formatted in a way so that if you go step-by-step, by the end of it, you will have not only what you're the expert in and really being clear about it, but you'll have your promise. You'll understand who your ideal client is. You'll understand what their outcome is that they want for your course. And then you'll also understand the obstacles or the things that'll get in the way of them taking the course that you want to provide.
There we go, y'all. So make sure you hop on that free resource she's offered up to you. Take advantage of it. Take advantage. My team will drop the link. Boom, there it is. The link is in the comments. So make sure you click on that. Take advantage of it now while it's available. So real quick, we had a few questions. My guy Joel in Chicago. What's up, Joel? Joel said, we've generally sold our course through webinars. Have you had success just selling the course as a standalone item?
So as a standalone item, does he mean like a pre-recorded course or selling it directly?
Yeah, it's a pre-recorded course, yeah.
Yeah, so pre-recorded courses are great because it gives you the opportunity to put it into an automated system so that you can launch and relaunch and launch again. It's evergreen content. And if you put it in a format in a way that there are certain sections that you can update as needed, you don't have to keep recreating the wheel. It's a great opportunity.
All right. Awesome. Yeah, I think one of the things about courses I like, right? Because I'm thinking about we've sold courses from webinars. We've sold them just like in the store, right? Just like in our store and our site, we got them in the store and people will kind of come through and buy them that way every now and then. We've linked to them in articles where we can have an article about a specific topic and then, people link through them and click there. We sold them at live events where we're speaking from the stage and we'll say, hey, we got this course and the course normally costs this, but here's a special offer to get a hold of it right now. You'll get instant access to it. So like I said, I love that because there's so many different ways you can kind of lead into it and sell it and promote it and get people to connect with it. Actually, one of my favorite things about online courses is that I tell people all the time, there's not a defined perceived value on them. Meaning, like my wife and I, for people that don't know, we start out, we did like a lot of documentary films. So with our 7 documentary films, if I go in some way and say, I got a documentary film, do you want to buy it? Instantly in people's heads, they're gonna be thinking $20 to $30.
Right.
And if I say, hey, no, my film is, $100, they like, hold up. DVDs don't cost that much, dude. So I'm not like, I just got that new Kevin Hart the other day and it was only 25, so I'm not doing it. So It's already perceived value. But I tell people all the time, I have courses on my laptop that I got for free. I got courses on my laptop, same amount of time and information that I paid over $1,000 for.
Right.
And it's not about the fact it's a course. It's all about the value of what's in the course. Right. And what's the promise you talk about? Like, what am I going to be able to do? How am I going to be able to live once I actually go through the training? What's going to be the return on my life, return on my investment that I make, once I actually so into it. So one of the things I love about courses is, like I said, you really can, it's all about what's the value of what's in that actual training, about how you can price it. And the fact that we have so much leeway because we can automate it and have it so when somebody signs up, they automatically get it. That it's not a physical product, not attached to a cost of goods sold. So I can say, hey, I'm cutting a deal where I give you 70% off today. And then tomorrow I can raise it back up, right? And if somebody bought it for 70% off, hey, any money I make is almost free money because it's nothing associated with me having to actually go out and ship anything, fulfill anything, or create anything. It's all right there combined in that course, and we can automate that whole cost. So I love it. I love it. All right, Queenette had a question. She said, how much content is too much in a course? I know you get that. I know you've heard that one before.
Oh, so this is kind of like the gauge that I have for that, because people who are excited about their content want to tell everything, want to share everything, want to give every detail. Sometimes, though, the amount of detail that you give can overwhelm and block the people who are taking the course from finishing it. So the amount of content that you want to put into each section should be only what's necessary for them to get the result of that particular section. I'm going to repeat. Only include what is necessary for them to get the outcome of that particular section. So when you start adding more detail and you want to polish it with something else and just add more to it, all that does is confuse people and make it something that feels overwhelming, and they just give up. So what you might think is, I have to include this 10 steps to get to this one section of the course, not even the whole course. That's way too much. There should be maybe at most 5 steps in a particular section, because you don't want to overwhelm people. And under each step, you can include other things, but you want it so that people can actually follow it and implement it. You can't give them the complete A to Z guide of what you've done from beginning to end, because it will overwhelm people. They won't complete it. They won't feel like they got the promise that you said you give them. And then they're going to tell people, oh, I didn't learn anything in their course.
I love it. So there you go. Y'all start wearing people out with all, at least start wearing people out with all of them super long 8, 9, 10-hour courses y'all doing for $97. Come on, we got to get clear about it. But that's great. That's one of the things I've seen in the online course space over the years is people really trying to make the information more snackable, so people can actually complete it, get through it, and feel accomplished. Because it's like it's not even the fact that I didn't get the promise as part of it, but now I feel worse because I'm in something and I didn't even go through the whole thing I spent my money on. So it's just a reminder that, hey, I'm out here spending money and not actually engaging in stuff that I think will give me the actual results. Not only do I not have the results, but now I have my money to go along with it.
Right.
I love that. You guys out here creating. How can you create something that people can actually complete? They can get done. They can get that promise Alisha keeps talking about and kind of keep moving forward. So awesome. And let me see, that came up for a few people. Let me see. Jacqueline said, this good information about content, very clarifying for me. Kim Leah said she's just in time for that answer because I sometimes give too much away. So I knew that was something you heard a lot of times.
Yes. Yes.
All right. We got a comment from a guy named Benjamin. He said, you are brilliant. He may be slightly biased. She has a great mind. If she's talking, you don't hesitate. And I think that's your husband too. Extra points, the midday extra points. I see you. All right. Awesome. All right. So we don't want to hold you too much longer. I know your time is precious, but one more time, can you tell about the free offer that you have for him?
So the free offer I have today is a workbook that kind of goes along with what we discussed today. It goes in more detail. By the end of it, you should be able to have an understanding of all of what you have to offer, who your ideal customer is, what the outcome is that they want to achieve, the obstacles that they're going to overcome. And it just is something that, like I said, is a step-by-step process. And on that same page, I share a little bit about how you can work with me if you're interested in me supporting you and creating the course that you want to get out into the world.
All right, guys. So that is it. You've heard all the information, everything you need to be able to decide, is this online course creation for you? I highly recommend, right? Everybody, if you're watching this, go and get a hold of the free resource. We pin the link to the top of the comment so that you can get a hold of that now while it's free. Normally you would pay a lot of money for that, but we, asked Alisha to come in and actually present something for you guys free of charge. So she did that. And if you're looking to create a course, you got a course on your mind, it's been on your heart for a long time, you haven't been able to do it yet, we highly recommend her. We had a bunch of our actual mastermind clients enroll in her program. They've been raving about the results and the ability to get the course done. So many of you start working on this stuff but never complete it. If you don't complete it, guess what? You can't sell it. If people can't buy it, they can't get the transformation that they need. And all this information you have to share with the world is useless if you can't get it out there so people can actually use it, learn it, and implement it. All right. So we highly recommend her. You can find all the information on that link that we put in the comments. So again, Alisha, thank you for joining us. Any last words?
I just want to thank everyone for joining us today, for your comments, for engaging. And please share after it's over. And I will be in the comments later to answer any question that you posted, even on the replay. Thanks again.
All right. Thanks again. And thank you. And thank everybody for joining us for another Lunch and Learn. We'll be back next week with another expert, and we'll see you soon. In the meantime, get the download and let's get started on creating your online course. All right. Thanks, guys. See you next time.